5:26 p.m. Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Billy Crone at the Merriam Community Center for the public art meeting.
The committee members have not ever been her meetings.
So she can watch, listen, as a citizen, she can speak up, but that would be it, and she's not counted on the quorum.
She's not counted on the
Okay.
what?
As a part of the
Seems to
quorum, so if we don't have other people, we may not be able to have meetings.
We can have a
We
meeting.
can have a meeting, you just can't
take
vote.
Yeah, correct, because we wouldn't have a quorum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over there.
I think she can see us.
Pretty much.
As long as you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Very firmly established with us.
Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
I just need one more human to go.
One
All
more
right.
human, they only have 1 minute.
I know.
One human has 1 minute.
What?
We need one more human in 1 minute.
That's assuming I'm actually human. No.
Jerry's coming.
Oh, goodness.
Becker,
I know, it's, you know,
he's slow.
my mother claimed I was from Pluto and that I was not.
Aw.
She said it lovingly.
Do you still consider Pluto a planet?
I do, yes, yes,
Me too.
good. Otherwise, we were gonna have to have words.
It happened when I was in like, I don't know, elementary school.
Yeah.
They switched it and I was just like, I already learned this. I already learned this song. It's
Total
in the-
planet,
yeah.
planet, whatever, I don't care. Dwarf planet, still the planet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that dinner was awesome. What kind of food?
It was good. Good, good.
That's the best kind.
Yeah, I mean, you can really go
Where
to
was the
things
chef
that
from?
happen. Pardon?
Where was the chef from?
Farmhouse. And, Sharice is there. She sat by Ashok. They're buddies.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I mean, I mean, he gives good advice, you know, and he has for the last over 10 years.
He's a funny guy, right?
Yeah. What?
I was just counting.
Where's Maggie?
Counting.
One,
Yes.
two.
I used to know the
Maggie
owner of the
Merriam.
farmhouse, but I don't know if he sold it, cause he moved.
I can't think of the,
Wow, that's a nice
Name.
dorm. I thought they were like,
but he graduated from, Johnson County Community College, culinary
Yes.
school, so that was part of the deal.
Do you ever go to Strain Hall?
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I have.
So,
I have.
So, and you're certain, Jerry's coming?
I am not.
Well, he said he was,
Okay,
how's that?
okay, I'll give it another minute.
He said he was, but,
Things happen. Things happen.
and I just saw him.
Okay, oh, perfect. So we'll
Maybe
give
he
it a
can't
minute.
park.
Your call has been forwarded to
Oh.
The person you're trying to reach.
Would be alarming.
What? He can't park?
the upper deck's open. So the owner of Honor's in Strain Hall,
Uh-huh.
that's a good friend of mine.
Oh,
And his sister
was dating and then married the guy who started Farmhouse, but maybe it was like a teen.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But
Hi.
then
I
he
can't
moved-
remember the names.
I
moved to
just tried to
the
call you from the
East
room, the phone.
So I don't know who the owner of Farmhouse is now.
Hello.
This settles it, right?
Yes, it does.
We don't need Jerry.
Well, we do, but it's not critical. It's no longer mission critical.
We were trying to decide if we had 400.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm late.
We were all trying to leave.
Is it the
Okay.
15-minute professor rule?
And I ruined it.
No, I'm sure it's coming.
April agenda from the park. I remember.
Anyway, you were
We
missed,
don't need
but
that.
I'm glad you didn't come with COVID.
Yeah.
That's not worth
I got over it like the day before classes started. I was really nervous, I was like, I cannot.
Horrible.
Think of
It's
this semester
horrible.
not there.
Did your kids get it?
Yeah, our whole family.
Eric, oh, did you say Jerry?
You're gonna leave bypass it?
I
No.
can't tell. Yeah, yes, there it is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Jerry.
Hello.
Okay. I will do that. Hang on. Well, I'm gonna hang up this one and I probably on the other one.
Somebody sitting here.
Nobody's saying.
Just Maggie.
Maggie's sitting.
Maggie's sitting there.
No, here.
Okay, well, I'll sit over here, I'll sit over here.
Maggie, you have a big personality.
It works,
Yeah,
yeah.
right, exactly.
Hi.
We've got Christine here.
Okay, all right.
Where's Christine?
I'm going to officially call this meeting to order.
Okay.
Roll call as normal, et cetera, et cetera. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the meeting minutes of August 8th, 2024?
Mhm.
Yes.
And do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Yes, I will motion that.
Okay,
Second.
second.
All right, so moved. Project updates. I'm sure everyone saw the Lawrence and Chaos Mother.
Yes, I am. Hi, we're good.
I'm rushing you right along, no. Everyone had an opportunity to read the Carter Avenue assessment, which was a little disappointing, I think, to most of us.
It'd be extremely short
figures
version.
Yeah, we
So
were,
much.
there was concerns, but
So,
I was excited to see that as an opportunity.
yes, it's
It's
not
still
dead.
though, right?
I'm not saying it's dead.
Can we still kind of maneuver towards it?
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
She's bringing up the.
She's gonna maneuver to that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, now over here, this. Okay, so, overall, staff was like very enthusiastic about this idea, and it sounded like fun and different and great, so there's good potential there. However, as we looked a little deeper into it, no, I didn't do it right there. We realized there's some property ownership issues. The city only owns the land on the northern portion of that area. The southern portion where Chatland Park is and the right-of-way along Shawnee Mission Parkway and the southern part of Shawnee Mission Parkway is owned by KDOT. Well, George Kessler technically, if you want to get real specific, but that just means that KDOT now owns it because that's how things transpire over all the years. So that brings KDOT into the picture. We do own the bridge. However, it's on KDOT land and that is another complicated layer to it. Hello.
Right.
So, because KDOT is involved, they have a whole permit process, and they do have a specific process for public art, but it basically says they don't do public art. However, since there's like these weird issues that like we still technically kind of own it, it's a whole thing. We did talk to a couple people and get insights on like, there's a good chance that they would agree upon something like this, because we do own a good chunk of it, they'd also probably be happy to let us take ownership of the land. The city has to take on liability of that land. So it's rather complicated. In addition to the bridge portion of it, if anything were to be attached to a bridge, then you have to consider the weight load and the integrity of the bridge and all of that, so there has to be engineers involved. So is that an artist-provided engineer, or is it the city's engineer to do that portion of it? If there's lighting components involved, are they distracting drivers? That's something that KDOT would definitely want to have input on. If it were lighting, there's also getting Evergy involved for connecting to electrical as well, so it's getting really complicated. The idea of doing a mural or some sort of painting on it seems much easier and more feasible. Our bridge inspector, we're required to have a bridge inspected every 2 years. Our public works director talked to him about it a little bit, and he said, it seems pretty feasible, like something that could work. However, like, you just have to be aware if there ever are issues, then the mural or art, whatever art is there, could be potentially damaged or changed or whatever. In some way, those are concrete fears. There could be cracks. There could be all kinds of different things. There's also grass that grows in the cracks there, so it's something to be aware of for maintenance if it were to be painted. Let's see. Another key thing was that if we were to move forward with it, it'd be really super essential, the lighting idea, to have a very experienced artist who has done similar work for some project like this. And generally avoid the railroad as much as possible. That would be the easiest for sure. Yes. And then I say all of that background of all the various challenges to then also get to the realization that we are just now beginning a interchange design project for I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway, which council approved on Monday, and this location is included in that design process. So there's great potential that the entire interchange could at some point be completely redone and overhauled, at which point it would be really pretty awful that we just spent a lot of time and effort and money in this project and it's getting completely revamped. So
Go back to your list.
What year is that project happening?
So the design,
Or is it?
we just hired a company to do the design work, which creates a plan, or do a design study. So they're gonna come up with a plan, which should be done in about a year. And at that point, we would know whether or not this location is affected by whatever their plan is.
Okay.
And so at that point, if we know that they're not gonna touch it, then we could do something there.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if they are gonna touch it, then maybe we could somehow get involved in what the future plans for the future of that interchange might look like, and then it could be a big cooler project, because it's
Could be
not an old ugly bridge, it's gonna be a,
and can be integrated within the
Yeah,
design
from the
ideas and
beginning.
design portions.
yes. So, and throughout that whole process, KDOT will be working with the city on the design process, so we will have much better, stronger relationships with KDOT to better understand what could or couldn't be done. So, not saying no completely, but no for right now.
Question?
A couple of observations. 3 observations. So it looks like this location will just take more time. And none of the things that you said are scary or unusual, and often attend such projects. but they just take more time to navigate. And, given the design process, perhaps, continuing to pursue this relationship with this site, but not with an immediate project, is the way to go. And actually having this body be an active presence around the design table for this project, so that it's not just an add-on once a bunch of engineers have had their say. Those engineers are important, and what they have to say is great, and having you sit at that table and talk about, and just understanding how decisions are being made there and how an artist-centered project could merge or mesh with that would be important, so that it's integrated and not just a decal stuck on the thing after it's done. The other observation I would make is any of the other stuff you're saying about lighting, engineering, talking to the power company, maintaining it, that's all stuff you have to do with anything that we own anyway. So that's not a reason not to
To a certain degree.
do something, but care and feeding of a collection of works of art is something that we accept responsibility for when we do these kind of projects. So that stuff is gonna change from project to project. But you'll need engineering, you'll need a maintenance plan.
Makes the timeline much longer.
It can, depending on what it is. But those are not, again, unusual aspects of a project like this. Anybody who's done it will let you know they've had to consider all those questions. So I would hesitate for us to shy away from a project because it had a speed bump that's very normal.
Yeah.
It may be very uncomfortable for you because
Oh, no.
you're on the receiving end of all your colleagues.
Yes.
Say it all, but
I wouldn't say no one's against this project, they all like the idea, they just, it's complicated. It's far more complicated than any other location that is blatant, like outright owned by the city, like anywhere on
I
this property.
agree with you there, so we'll take some more massage.
Yes, it is a more long-term
Yeah.
project.
Which
that-
some of my thoughts are similar in nature in that, okay, so it's just moved out, right? We take on something else that's more quick in the near future, we keep this in mind. One of my first thoughts was, there's a lot of opportunities for integrating something like this into a bridge design, future designs, etc., that is self-supporting with the illusion of part of the bridge, which also offers long-term maintenance issues not to conflict with the bridge itself, while it's still appearing as part of the bridge, etc., etc. There's a lot of ways, as Christopher so far more eloquently than myself articulated, these are challenges, but they're not insurmountable in any way. They just mean, okay, that's something we're looking at with this committee over the next several years for that one, as opposed to today.
Yeah. I will also say that it was mentioned at council meeting that there will be a committee of residents for this project.
For that 35.
The I-35 interchange, the I-35 interchange project, so it would be great to have someone who wants to speak passionately about including art on the committee.
Well, I don't know how council feels about it and how that committee's gonna be constructed, but if a member of this group could just be seated on that citizens committee, because we're all citizens, that would establish a presence and those interests would be represented doubly because they're resident and.
Okay.
If that's possible.
I would say that unless someone is incredibly interested in that, I would gladly do that because I have other passions related to that project that I plan on voicing very vehemently.
What are you talking about?
Read the minutes to the planning.
I'm kidding, Sean, I know you well enough.
I think you know what those are.
Sean, can you summarize that? What are you talking about?
Walkway over China Mission Parkway.
Pardon
Oh,
me?
yes, we've heard this.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Those are, and so, a lot of these things play into that whole project. So
Pedestrian
I
setting,
have
et cetera,
every
yeah.
intention of a desire to do that, but I'm on numerous committees already. So if someone was vehemently or really wanting to be involved with that, I would
I'd encourage you to
acquiesce.
sit this one out. interest of your own energy and to
Yeah.
diversify the
I think
intelligences that are representing us in other corners.
Probably sound advice. I just wanna make sure somebody does.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea from a council perspective to have someone from the public art committee knowing that this is a project that we want to keep moving forward as a committee, right? So
Yeah.
I think that would be great, which I didn't think about it during the council meeting, so thank you
Yeah.
for bringing it up.
Yes.
So, I was just very focused on the excitement of maybe seeing something different, you know, happen in that corridor
Oh, for sure.
before my daughter's driving, so.
Yeah, well, and anytime it's come up before, like, the one exit that goes by the visitors bureau, that's the one that's awful. So in my head, it's always just been about right there, not.
No, it's all awful.
It's very expansive. It's gonna go down to 67th Street and Johnson Drive and basically to city limits.
Yeah, frontage road.
So, yeah,
It's big.
it's big.
You know, that
study.
interchange at 67th Street and frontage road, like in front of CarMax, like that is also part of this study because that also affects the interchange at Generation Parkway. So you have to do a study of like both interchanges that link it.
Yeah.
Drive in.
Wow.
Yep.
It would have been nice if they did that before they did the 75th Street.
When was that done?
That was just like a year and a half. Did they finish it?
No, they finished it like COVID.
They did?
That's how I mark time.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so in terms of this, we all feel comfortable with moving forward in a more passive way for this. So we have,
Yeah,
Do we need to vote?
have a representative.
and I don't,
Yeah.
We voted to move this forward, do we need to vote to table it?
No.
I don't think so.
yeah, that's
I just wanna make sure we
follow official
Yeah.
protocols.
toe the line.
Jerry, what do you think? You're the construction person. Ooh.
Well, I'd like it if they used a lot less property. There was a lot less pavement involved, you know, like doing, maybe they're thinking about doing like a diamond intersection like they have at 87th Street. Which takes a lot less space, where you cross lanes.
The diverging V,
Huh?
or
Yeah.
the diverging V,
diamond.
Huh?
diverging diamond, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I think there's
They've
like,
done it like every intersection on I-35
Yeah.
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the way they're gonna do it.
I briefly looked at their response, and I think there's like 4 different,
They just did
Styles
some
are gonna-
really congested intersections, HLTV just did some really congested intersections in Johnson County, so that was why
Yeah.
they were the preferred. Because they understand the area,
Yeah.
because the other people that responded weren't local, I don't think,
oh,
so.
really, okay. Yes, the design company that was hired to do this design study did 87th Street and 95th Street and they're currently doing Santa Fe. So they're very familiar with KDOT and I-35 and all the issues.
Important.
Yes, so hopefully they come up with a great design and then hopefully we get funding to do it.
Point of semantics in terms of whether we should table or not table, et cetera, and we don't feel like we should. I think keeping it open is a good thing so that we continue to keep it in the mindset of both the city
Yeah.
and planning, et cetera, and then take on another smaller project at the same time that maybe has some more immediate gratification.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
And then that way it can stay with an agenda item almost.
Yeah.
And get regular?
Yeah, that's, I guess, so it stays at the forefront, so it's an open agenda item.
But it's a great idea. I love the idea.
Yeah.
You know, I sat under that viaduct looking at the space, and there's tons of people that could do it and do it well,
Yeah,
and they're local.
yeah, it drips with
It
opportunity.
doesn't take much to make that look better.
Well, yeah.
Alright, so we're good on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Then we move to then other options for the more immediate future.
Yes, so in order to keep us moving forward and get a project done, I looked at some smaller scale, more local artist emphasis, things that are on city property and would meet the beautification and, you know, what people desired for infrastructure and kind of unexpected places in here, so that's why I kind of looked around where we are now and saw these lovely stairs parking garage, this very long retaining wall over here, and then
Well,
inside.
The retaining wall is
On the east
like
side of
stone,
the river.
it's stone or something, I mean, it
Yeah.
looks like, pardon?
It's manufactured stone.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's a textured surface, and then inside the stairwell of the parking structure. A lot of gray walls. So,
And the city owns that
These-
wall.
yes,
Big wall.
yes.
Department of Transportation will have to.
Yeah,
It's their road.
Yeah.
Yup, so, these are all, city property,
If you wanna stay on this campus,
yeah,
it's an if.
highly visible, you guys were interested in something highly visible. Could be achieved very quick, some of them very quickly, maybe not the retaining wall, but the stairs, that's a pretty quick project with a, fast impact. They're at a gathering place, that was important to a lot of people, this is definitely our highest trafficked area in the city. And the stairs, kind of unexpected a little bit, so, any of these locations would be beautifying for sure. So, specifically, the exterior parking structure stairs, there's 24 steps, 30 wide, that's less than 192 square feet, but I was rounding up, so. Part of what drew my attention to this location is we've had ongoing issues with pedestrian safety at this here crosswalk. So anything that draws more attention to the fact that this is a crosswalk and there are stairs here, I think would be amazing. I've been personally nearly hit by a car many times there.
Is that coming out of the garage?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's like the,
Yikes.
yeah, so that's when you
Yeah.
come out of the garage when you're driving, and then those are like the stairs that go up to like City Hall. kind of,
Yeah,
you know?
no, I got it, I just wasn't sure
Yep.
where the,
A mirror.
So,
I like the stairs.
yes.
I do like the stairs. You were the one that was talking about the stairs, a stair project in San Francisco, weren't you?
Oh, yeah,
Somebody
I brought that up.
was.
I brought that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
then you were
I'll
talking
take
about
credit
it.
for that.
Yeah, somebody brought
The
it up.
mosaic stairs.
Yes.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what drew my attention to it. Cities installed speed bumps. If not yet, there will soon be a flashing stop sign inside the exit wall to get people to stop. There's this lovely little thing in the middle that says there's pedestrians here. There's a mirror up here that you can't see in this picture, but people still seem to drive very quickly in and out of the parking garage, so, any more attention to the stairs I think is fantastic. Plus, it's kind of like a fun little photo moment, or, if you're the one climbing the stairs, it's kind of joyful to have something more beautiful to look at than concrete on an intimidating staircase.
Do you have any idea of the volume of traffic on those stairs on a daily basis
I do not.
versus the parking lot?
I do not. We can figure that out.
I always see a lot of people on the stairs. I mean, I use those stairs all the time.
Yeah, me too. A lot of city staff and a lot of library staff for sure, but also when the parking structure is full, I think.
You have no choice.
Yes.
I could be open to this, but I just wanted to point out that this campus has 6 pieces of art plus a living wall and an art gallery. So it's already like completely full of art, in my opinion. So I understand we have an issue with our first location not necessarily being feasible. And I know that we asked that we suggested that maybe we do something public, but I feel like we would just be saturating this campus. And I'm not sure if that's smart for our first piece, but I just wanted to get everyone else's opinion.
That's what I'm waiting to hear too.
Yeah, I definitely thought of that as well, that even some of our most recent stuff has been for this campus, like a handful
The last
of.
pieces that we did as the public, like the former iteration of the public art committee are the blessings pieces
Yes,
up here.
yeah.
And then the
And then the
library just did
library,
2 pieces,
yeah.
including a beautiful mural.
But there's also a reason for
Yeah.
that, because people are here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people
Exactly.
definitely.
No, that's not,
Yeah.
that's not lost on me.
Yeah.
I just, I don't want this to become overwhelming when it comes to art, but also I don't want, I also think we need to be really careful when people are looking at how we're spending the, public's money, and they see that it's going all to one location. You know?
I think that's
Especially when this was a very controversial project to begin with, the community center. So if we just keep pouring money into one location, I'm not sure if that will be, how that will be perceived.
But the library right now, I use the library a lot. It's packed with people. It's packed with children too.
Mhm.
And, you know, these stairs are not beautiful. We could make them beautiful.
I fully agree. I just was thinking, though it seems perfect for our first project, I wanted to throw some caveats out there. Which it sounds like some people have already kind of considered, but, I play devil's advocate a lot, so.
Well, I think you need to diminish your critical observation because I think it's apt. Part of our goal is to distribute this kind of activity around the community. My concern as an education professional, an education professional, is that there is no yet focused guide to the art that's already here. There's no publication, there's some on the website. There's no way to help our visitors coordinate their art viewing experience here yet. And if we add one more thing, it's going to be a lot to ask people to self-explore.
We're launching the AutoCast art tour app within the month,
Great.
so that should be helpful.
And that's around the community, and that's awesome. I am in favor of looking elsewhere, just as one voice, in this short term, because we have an embarrassment of riches here with 2 institutions investing.
Okay.
And,
Sure.
there are other voices.
Well, I'm just trying to think where to go, because we're kicked off the floodplain, right? That's all right. So there's, we could look at other parks that I'm not really very familiar with, because I don't get around much, but
I was gonna say, are we back to then our original locations we were looking at when we chose Carter? I mean, there were.
What about the clearing? Did you guys speak on that last
Yeah.
meeting when I was not here?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there was life to it, but everyone was more excited about something a little more actively seen, which was just underneath the Carter Bridge.
And
Yes.
unusual.
Yeah, and unusual. However, we can pivot back to one of those other locations that we were originally discussing, is one idea that we could investigate. If we're not wanting to do these smaller projects here at the community center, which I understand. So for me, it would be, okay, well, what was our original focus from our previous decision? Should we relook at those other options that we had from that, or is it an all new thing? I'm just not
Were
wanting
you
to
trying to say
completely
something?
reinvent a wheel, is all. Thoughts?
Lauren, were you saying something?
Well, I was gonna ask if I could share the rest of.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, I was pausing and I didn't see you move on, so I thought maybe this was what you were focusing on, so I apologize.
No, I was gonna show each site,
I-
although they're all here, so.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
That's okay.
Yeah, we'll see what you've done.
I tried to be patient.
It's okay. The interior of the parking structure stairs, there's about 1,000 square feet of available surface. Right now, it's all just dark gray wall. It's not very welcoming, in my opinion. There's a lot of potential there, and when I was placing these photos, I noticed a really unusual spot to be the underside of the stairs that no one would expect to see a painting or anything on, so.
Do we currently deal with much vandalism within those stairwells? Painting, tagging, any of those kind of
Nothing
things?
there,
Not curious.
not that I've heard of anyways, in the elevator, there has been.
Not until we committed.
There have been issues in the locker room,
Okay.
and there was an issue not having to do with graffiti or anything, but early on the top parking deck.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard anything in the stairwell.
Just curious.
We haven't had reports at the park board either.
I'm sorry?
We haven't had reports at the park board either.
Let's see, it's also indoors, so it's pretty protected. Could be done either with vinyl by a graphic designer and then applied to the wall, or an actual mural artist that paints the walls, so there's options there.
I do like the nature of underneath the stairs like that. I mean, you know, the angle.
Yeah.
Or even something in the windows would be cool.
Yep, so it's just kind of a dry area that is also the entrance.
I like the challenge of painting under a stair. I think that's a neat thing. Why not?
Yeah. So that's a quick overview of that. And then there's the lovely retaining wall that's about 300 feet long, of varying height along the whole length of it. It is a textured surface and it is angled, so it would be a challenge. It would take a special kind of artist and it would only be viewed from a distance, but it's also kind of an ugly wall that is our grand entrance to our facilities here.
You're talking about this
So-
wall.
Yeah.
I kinda like it the way it is. You know,
Okay.
it's textured, it looks clean, you know?
Do we know if the only art that could be applied to that would be like a paint or something? Cause I don't think it's structural enough to attach something to it. Is it?
I think the interesting
I think it
idea
could
is to
be.
ask an artist,
Yeah.
they might think,
Right.
and then we could evaluate that,
Okay.
rather than deciding for them.
As long as it's
yeah.
not adding a ton of weight to it, I think stuff could be attached to it. But that's something we'd probably have the
Yeah.
structural engineer look at to make sure. Yeah, so that one's a little more broad and what could be done with it.
Hopefully I don't lose my battery before we're done.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've got 8% left, so just FYI.
Hang on.
Other than that, I will just say is, the more specific we can be, the easier it is for us to, the city, for staff to move forward with the project. And if you are interested in doing these,
Just have
I
one.
think the stair projects could be combined, in one RFQ, and it'd just be important to set a maximum budget, for something like that. And the city is anxious for a project to move forward and get done. Because this is about the end of year 2 of funding for the public art committee, and we've done
Done
this
nothing?
Yes.
Well,
They
we've
were
actually,
big.
we did a lot, but we haven't provided a art project that is.
So, yes.
Maggie,
But if you guys don't wanna do it here?
Maggie, oh my gosh. Oh, Maggie, what do you think about this? I mean, does anything appeal to you in terms of moving forward with this small project?
I mean, it might be a better start, just to get us going. I do think that something in the stairwell might be kind of nice. It is people pass through there all the time. I don't know, I'm hesitant to have something in the whole community area, just because, there is a lot there now, but I understand that it is a pretty big gathering place, so it would make sense to put another thing there. But I don't know,
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we look at the previous locations that we've been considering? Is it easy to help us remember?
From our previous, meeting, probably.
The only other option I gave you last time was the gathering, not
The
the gathering, the
clearing.
clearing, sorry, the clearing.
Park
Yes.
along Turkey Creek,
At
Stream
Chat-
Park.
Yeah, at Chatley Park.
Yeah, yeah, well, it's not really.
No, it's on.
It's, on the other side of 67th Street, to the south.
Yeah.
By the Public Works building.
Oh. The clearing.
Yeah, the clearing.
It's like by the
where
butterfly garden?
The butterfly
Yeah,
garden
yeah, I was
is,
just
and-
thinking of a different area when I was hearing that. Gotcha.
which I know originally, and if, correct me if I'm wrong, Margaret, but I think that was one of the areas that you liked from your original
Yeah,
perspective, you liked that one quite a bit.
yes.
So I'll say that's my stomping grounds. My kids grew up in that clearing. It is a cool place. I know more about it than if you guys have questions, let me know. I mean, my kids played in the creek.
Yep.
I'm sure the city doesn't love that, but there's an area where everyone goes down and plays in the creek. People bring their dogs there to play catch because it's a flat, open area. There are so many people there. I also love the aspect that you can really only get there, it's like an adventure to get there. You can't just drive your car up and like take a picture, you know? You have to be, like, inspires people to experience the outdoors, you know?
And it gets a lot of traffic through there. Right?
There is a
Walking
lot,
traffic,
yeah.
human traffic, bicycles, walking.
And there's people who just go there, there's benches, you know, sure there's more landscaping than there was before. I think it's a really cool place. I'm for it, but I know you guys spoke about it last time and I was not here for that conversation, but, I really enjoyed that place. I think it would be a great place for something like interactive. There are people down there, children, just enjoying the outdoors. I think something that can be climbed on or just really enjoyed by people who are outside enjoying the outdoors would be amazing. Okay.
And you say there's a lot of children that use that
Yeah,
area.
adults
I don't-
too. I mean,
I've
there's.
never even seen it.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
would
Oh my
like to
gosh,
at least.
go for a walk. There's like a trailhead right in my neighborhood. You can go down there. There's a bridge. There are always kids fishing on the bridge. The creek is a very big place. There's a lot of places where people go down into the creek. I mean, it's a cool
It's
spot.
right by where the glass
It does
blower is.
flood
right-
every
right-
time.
It's right by
Yeah,
his
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to it. Yeah.
It's just upstream from it a little bit, for the glass blowers, yeah.
Where the glass.
It's on the other
The
side
one
of
you
the
went to.
creek. Yeah,
Sure.
When you-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's right by his studio.
but it's like on the
Where
other
the
side.
studio is his home,
Yeah.
not the warehouse.
Oh, his home is right there.
Maggie's that I almost am leaning towards the community center, but I'm just not familiar with the clearing, so,
I'm sure if you don't use the trail on like that section of the trail, you wouldn't know it, but
yeah.
they've sort of redone the end of the trail at 75th Street, so there's like a parking lot there and like yeah, there's always people on this section of trail, but that's the section of trail.
It was good to hear your perspective, cause I've taken that trail many times, but maybe I just do it during odd hours, cause that has always been completely empty.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's my experience too. Just saying.
every time I've
You
been
don't
there,
see
it's
where-
busy as all get out.
Huh?
Yeah.
Every time I've been down there, it's very busy.
Yeah, I guess I just at the wrong time.
I have two thoughts, well, actually, they kind of homogenize into one. The idea of the clearing, I like, that's gonna be a little bit more of a this long. The
Medium.
Carter one is, you know, that long. The here, like in the stairwell or whatever, are this long. Can we not start moving several of these forward in that regard? So that we're getting something up fairly quickly in terms of the council's desire to start seeing, you know, results from this committee. while, I mean, I hate to make decisions based on that. Again, it comes back to, for me, what I always come back to and what my brain says is go back to what did our master plan say from our community? And do what we decide meet those criteria? That's the bureaucrat in me wanting to make sure that I'm, doing what this community has asked me to do. So, if we measure those things against those criteria, do they meet that criteria? Does doing a short-term thing within this community center like a stairwell or the staircase meet that criteria? We already know that the clearing does because it meets the highest end of those criteria based on our previous conversations. So those are the two things I think about. Thoughts, concerns, ideas?
I just wanna say, I wouldn't bring you guys things that I didn't think met the master plan.
Yeah,
So-
no, I know, but I feel like that's what he said.
Suggesting that at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume so, I just feel it needs to be said out
And
loud.
also, I brought you guys all a printed copy of the master plan at a glance.
Yeah.
You would like
Thank
it.
you.
And I apologize for the quality of our printer at City Hall, it's wonky colors, but whatever.
I
Is
don't-
this on the website now?
It is on the
Sorry,
website.
I didn't
Okay,
know.
thank you.
That's okay. I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, they do all have different timelines. I think we had talked at one point about not doing multiple projects at the same time, but now that we're kind of knee deep into it, we can see that they're all in different timelines. I can tell you that it's my opinion that the city council is not sitting around like this waiting.
I was gonna go that and just say, like, I don't think anyone on council, in my perception, is like, oh my god, what are they doing?
Okay, good.
That's my perception, and Jason's, I mean, we're 2 out of 8, 7 technically right now, so, that's my perception, but, I get what you're saying, but I
Sure.
would like to see something get started, and I think all of us would like that, but, I don't think it's, I would rather it be right, so like, if these don't feel right, then, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion on, like, I think all of it's great, so like, I don't wanna inject my opinion into like, what we should do, but,
So from those on the committee, do we have a consensus of what we would like to do moving forward from today? Okay, let's hear it from each individual, please.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I would like to start with a smaller project, just,
So within the
Yeah, yeah.
community center, one of the
I like the stairs.
two of the,
which one?
which stair?
the outside
Outside
stairs.
stairs?
Okay.
Since Marcia's
I'll just
doing
throw it out there, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Christopher?
I guess I could, cause I think
Sorry.
about, there's a staircase in Eureka Springs where it's like a tree of life and a
Mhm.
river running down it, and you have to go and take your picture on the stairs. And just like, something like that would be exciting and grabbable or whatever, like, would make people like to notice it and stop and take a picture.
Will our new crosswalk safety be in place before the art? If it's
People
there.
will be bringing more
Yeah, but
pedestrians.
Speedboats are already there.
And
I
the
think the
stop
only-
sign is the only other thing, but it's being added inside the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cause it's
if
really dark right there, so
Yeah.
like,
It's really dark,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, so you've had yours, Christopher. Thoughts?
I think if there's interest in working on the community center for the various reasons why that might be desirable, I think the locations are pretty obvious. There are other locations which I think are more interesting on this campus. That could be home to some original work of Art the Hill, of native plantings, some of the space to the north of the community center in that grassy lawn, or on the Slater side of the street, which is currently under investigated in that way.
What do you mean by Slater side of the street?
Well, there's a whole swath of lawn,
Like literally on Slater, like by the sidewalk?
not on the street, on the street side of the community center is what I mean.
Before
I
the,
mean, right up here.
before the fence.
The building,
Yeah.
it's, that faces Slater.
Much more interested in asking an artist where they think something really interesting could happen, rather than telling them we want a mural on that wall. I mean, that's one
Yeah.
way to.
Give them a list of areas upon
So
this
you-
campus,
yes.
and then having them decide, is that what you?
Like you'd be more interested in
No.
a short-term
You
project
wouldn't.
that were like that?
Well,
I love the stairs, and we might as well move fast, and I've always worked well with site-specific, and that's what I do. And I can negotiate, but not that much. You know, you just can't. And that moves it faster. I mean, ye gods. I mean, we've gotta move.
I don't think it's impossible to move with alacrity in another space. If you're working with an artist who's already made a work, your scowling at me doesn't help me feel comfortable sharing my ideas here. If I
Well-
could just share that with you.
Well,
Like,
that's fine. I wanna hear from everybody.
Well, I was asked, and I was
Okay.
sharing my idea, and
Okay.
I've done that, so thank you.
Hey Dad,
Yes,
I think I need to restart my phone.
okay, all right, no problem. Jerry?
Well, I'm in favor of stairs, whether they're outside or in. Okay, but I kinda like your idea of, because this would be a smaller project, then maybe we should move forward on both. Start looking, getting ideas about the clearing and,
Sure.
something here. in the
Okay.
stairs. So I now to Christopher's idea, that's true, but I think it's a little, we either have to pick the stairs or we pick the outside, so, but that's, I don't have a strong feeling either way, yeah.
Yeah, this is ultimately a committee, of which we have to come to a majority conclusion. We're not always going to agree, we all have to do that amicably, et cetera,
I am in favor of doing things on different timelines, if they're, overlapping on different timelines. I'm not against, like, we can only be working on one thing. I think I really like the clearing. I can answer any questions about it. I live there when I'm not at home, so it's a fun place. If I were to choose something at the community center, I would probably choose the indoor stairs. Yeah. Outdoor stairs kind of make, oh, Maggie's calling.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's my opinion.
I'm just gonna jump in and say that I'm gonna echo Jordan. I like the idea of the clearing, and I like the idea of the indoor stairs. And multiple projects is maybe a good idea.
Are you torturing somebody?
Dorm room, I think, has gotten a little crazy.
There was a bit of background noise there. You like the clearing and you like the indoor stairs.
Did you guys hear anything?
We could.
Yeah, we got it all.
I just didn't get the last part.
I'm at a swim practice.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay.
I would like a chance to go to clearing. I mean, I can, I'm not sure where it
I
is
took
or.
Julia down there. She wanted to see it and she knew I lived around there, so she asked me about it and I took her down there when she was here on her visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I
I'll
can't
take you down there
envision,
if you
okay,
want.
I can't envision what this area is or even where it is.
Would you know how to get to the Public Works building?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you know where the Happy Feet Soccer is on 67th Street, right by the railroad tracks?
Very close to.
Jan, I'll help
Very
you,
close to
I'll help
Duke.
you here. Do you know where we were today when we looked at the warehouse?
Yes,
Just right down the power lines.
Were you
Just-
literally at Dirk's house today?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right across the creek from there. There's like a lumber yard, and then the entrance to the Public Works, and then this beautiful clearing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but you kind of have to like walk there by the.
You
It's
can't park,
in here, isn't it?
I can't just
Um,
park in.
You
Yeah, it was a
can
good
park.
idea.
There is a big parking lot near there
that's
at
like
the
the-
Happy Feet
where?
Soccer place.
This one.
But
Okay.
then
So-
it is a walk
This
from
is
there,
looking north.
a short walk.
Well,
And it's a better
There's no
playground
parking
there,
at the
and
clearing.
Public Works
Okay.
building's over here.
I think if you wanna show me where it is, I'd like to at least see it.
Yeah,
It sounds great,
yeah.
and interactive sounds great.
Bring your crawdad shoes.
My kids literally find crawdads in the creek there. Alright, so yeah, I think Maggie might be the only one we haven't heard from.
She just did on there, yeah.
I thought that was Christine.
That was Christine.
Oh,
That was
it
Christine, yeah.
Oh, my bad. We'll get her opinion, but she won't be able to actually. Hey,
Hey, okay, there we go.
all right, no problem.
Sorry about that.
They wanted to hear your opinion. Did you catch, the two items that we were talking about before you cut out? In terms of, we kinda got your opinion on, if we move forward with a small project, is what everyone's talking about. Would they want to move forward with a small project in the community center, of the locations listed? Did you hear Christopher's idea of also perhaps the east side lawn of the community center, facing Slater? And then, there was a consensus on a number of individuals wanting the staircase or stairwell, within the community center. And then secondly, moving in tandem with the, clearing.
Oh, so doing it.
Oh, no,
Whoa.
she cut out.
Oh.
I think it was
Talking
yours.
about right by the parking lot back there.
Sorry about that, guys.
That little patch of grass.
Side of the bottom there, the south hill.
I love that hill.
Pretty interesting spaces.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because everything's.
It's way too quiet, yeah.
Christine said she liked the clearing and the.
Yeah, because they have
Okay.
different timelines, correct.
Okay, okay. I mean, that sounds good to me. If we wanted to just, I think it'd be good to start with a smaller project, just to get used to everything first. I think that would be all right. And if we wanted to do the clearing at the same time, that's also great. I don't know if we want to put too much on our plate at the same time, but, and if we were to do one at the small one at the community center, then I agree with the stairwells, either the one in the parking garage or the one, leading down, outside.
Okay. All right. Your
I hope
input,
that helped a little bit.
yeah, your input's important, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what I captured
We're
from
not
that.
voting members, I don't feel like my opinions are important.
I feel like they share a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, my opinion on us being, like, me personally is that, like, you know, I'm not a voting member, I'm just here to tell you, like, what council's looking for and, like, give any input on, like, things that council's moving forward and,
Sure.
you know, I love art. So
I
that's
agree
why
with
I'm
that.
here too.
So, the consensus that I heard in general, is moving forward with one of the two stairwells. I heard more interest in the interior one than I did the exterior one. And then in tandem, beginning the process of looking at the clearing. I would like to say that based on Christopher's feedback, I think that location should be added to the list of ideas of places that we could do something in the future. Because it isn't, I don't think currently listed in our plan, the
Right,
lawn.
Yeah.
there on the
Yeah.
side.
that area is
Just
right.
as an FYI.
The community
And also on the
center
south,
campus,
Yeah.
the south
I'd
side
like
too.
to
I love
caution
that.
that the specific sites in here were just samples, so we
Yeah.
can go way beyond what is
Yeah, sure.
specifically in here.
Sure.
I just, can I just throw something out?
Please.
Since it's not necessarily a huge project, why don't you do both staircases?
That's what I was wondering.
Well,
Yeah.
So you're capturing different audiences,
Ooh.
right? Like you're
Wow.
capturing the ADA, like the accessibility. Most people are going through the elevator tower if they're in a, you know, mobility issues if they're parking on top. But then you're catching walkers from City Hall or, you know, the other side of campus down the stairs.
And you can be cohesive.
Yeah, and you can see it from the library. I don't like that.
One artist
Yeah.
doing both, or two artists? If it's two artists, then I think we should probably not move forward currently with the clearing until those things are resolved.
Yeah.
Well,
There's been
my
some
thought
three
on that,
analyses of.
My thought on that is that they, it's one artist. They,
Yeah.
they.
Cohesive
Right,
concept.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that idea, yeah.
Are the interior stairs, are there a lot of, I haven't even looked at those. Are they
There's
a
like
lot of
2
stairs?
flights of stairs.
They go up to the upper
12
level?
Yeah, 12 steps up and then 12 steps up.
A lot of
And
wall
it's just like-
space.
Or
Yeah.
11
Climb
steps.
the elevator.
11
Stairs.
steps.
I know, yeah, the elevator.
Yeah, it's a lot of stairs.
Okay.
And there's a lot of
I guess,
like
I didn't
light
even
and
think-
stuff.
Obviously, the facing surface of those could be up too.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I was talking about the walls in there, but literally every surface in there is.
Okay, and
Up for
I think
grabs.
the artist could decide, right?
Yeah,
Like, I think
yeah.
because there's like the underside of the stairs,
Yes,
there's the,
that's where it's like,
the face
here's
of the
your
stairs,
budget.
there's the wall, there's the windows, like Vanessa said, like
Yeah.
something I hadn't thought about, cause you would see that from the exterior as
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah.
like.
Here's your budget, what do you wanna do with
Yeah.
this entire interior?
Yeah, why not?
I do like also when we say that let's not isolate them to a specific thing in there. Here's the general space. You tell us what you want. I agree with that assessment. Whatever.
But then the other stairs, there's not a lot, but the exterior stair, it's kind of, it's
yeah.
probably paint, right, you know,
Okay.
like.
I don't know.
Or an awning of some sort.
People blow my mind before.
I
Okay.
don't know if we can, budget would support like much adding to it, or like the parking structure, just like, but yes, open.
You could extend it to Henry.
I'm putting my architect hat on, I shouldn't, I'm sorry.
So that
That's a
being
good budget
said,
perspective.
in the, purpose of moving forward, do we have a majority consensus that we would move forward with both stairwells as a single project? And then in tandem, beginning the process, after that's initiated, we begin the process of the clearing. I see a lot of nods,
Sounds good to
Sure.
me.
and
Yeah.
one possible.
I'm a no vote on that approach.
Okay. Duly noted, appreciate it.
Okay,
And I think that's it you needed on that particular item, is that correct?
I think so. Well, budget, I need a budget for the stairs.
Ah,
I can't do an RFQ without
a budget?
defining a budget,
Mhm.
yes, so,
Okay, okay.
um.
$38.
Per square
So,
foot.
Lauren, I
It's
saw
hard-
on one of your
Oh,
slides,
no.
it said like an amount of money per square foot.
Yes, so,
And what was that, where, or what,
How did you base that?
how do,
number?
what is that?
a little bit of Googling.
Okay.
And looking at so the state has, a list of your mural artists, that some of them list what they charge, and most of them are between $20 a square foot up to $50 a square foot, or depending on the project, or stuff like that, and then just looking in general online, there seems to be a general consensus of
Okay.
in the $20 to $50 a square foot range, so I was like,
And what was your
Okay.
square footage on the other stairwell space, please?
roughly 1,000 square feet,
Oh,
but
so
that was
significant.
mostly the walls,
Mhm.
that I was thinking of, not.
Not the other, yeah.
Is that generally done? I mean, I would die if somebody said, I'm gonna pay you by the
Per
square
square
foot
foot.
of your paintings.
Well, we're not gonna say it, I mean, in my opinion, we wouldn't be saying it, we're gonna give a
We
general
would just
amount
do
of
a
money.
lump
Here's
fee,
the amount
a
of
lump
money,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
here's the spaces,
That's how
you
I
decide
price
if you wanna do it or not.
everything, so. Like, yeah, that makes sense, like.
So I'm not, in my head, I am not necessarily thinking mural. I mean, I know that's where a lot
I'm
of
not
people are
either,
going,
yeah.
but there is
Me, I-
so much, look what, there's a railing right there.
Yeah.
It's speaking for like a troll to be under the stairwell, you know? I'm not thinking
So,
necessarily mural, I'm not against murals, but I mean, that's not the given that's in my mind, I guess, and so I don't know if that would be,
Interesting.
my suspicion
Price per
is
square
that the
foot.
lower the amount of budget we put towards it, the more likely you're to get a
quicker,
mural.
Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Or yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
The more
and
you-
Or graphically designed
ahead.
vinyl
Yeah,
print.
sorry, I didn't cut you off. I would think it'd be helpful for us to know, like, remind everyone what the public art budget is and like what we had tentatively identified per project or per year.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it
Instead of
Yeah.
just saying, you know,
So it was,
I'm also asking
115
for a
or
reminder of
something?
myself.
right, yes.
But I think it's
I think there's
115 per
roughly
year, right?
$500,000 left in the budget. It's one big chunk that you
Minus
can
the
divide up
master plan. Yeah,
however you want, and it's probably, it's more than 500,000, but I'm just not sure exactly what the number is.
Yeah.
Off the top
I
of my
think
head.
I think that's helpful to like say, like, would we rather spend our money on the clearing and the Carter Avenue project? Which, like, I'll be honest, the Carter Avenue project, it might be 5 years, at least 5 years
Yeah, I
before
would
there's
think so.
even,
Oh, yeah.
like, I just want everyone to have that expectation.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
so, especially like
Long-term.
traffic studies and things like that, and so, you know, I think it's helpful to know, like, if this is that, if it's a small project, like, you put less budget to it, but then we might not get, like, the more unexpected. That's my perspective from my work, but.
My gut on that for 2 stairwells was $20,000.
Yeah.
I was thinking like 75, but that was just a random number. I had
$75?
$1,000.
Okay. $75,000.
Yeah, and
Okay,
I mean, I'm gonna
okay.
be honest, I'm just a person saying a number, so
Yeah.
that, I'm just throwing it out there so we can get the conversation going, because we need to have this conversation, right? To come to a
And-
consensus.
You were saying that it even could be 3D.
I don't know,
No, I'm
Yeah,
saying there is that,
possibly.
which never
I'm also a
occurred to me.
textile artist,
I-
there could be
I think that's
textiles abound,
very
you know?
Trying
fascinating.
to turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually.
Never
I
thought
just-
of that,
There
never
is no
thought
I,
of
There's
that.
no
I like
office either on
murals,
there.
but,
Yeah, there's no
I
part of
think
it.
they're very represented in conversations. So, I also want to be like, hey, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know.
I'm with you, like, I don't think it has to be paid only or.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
We've done around our meeting, so, sorry.
So the consensus is what, 25,000 then? Okay,
I like the lower.
there you go.
For the-
Clara,
For both stairs?
Yeah.
Total?
Yeah.
Okay.
25,000.
Does it- do you-
What was it? Okay,
No, I
what
don't
did
just,
you
I
write down?
just always like wiggle room, you know?
For both stairs.
I'm a general
I think
contractor, I
that's
always
like
want
20 to
to
30,
I always want to be able to
Yeah.
work my way out of it.
What's your wiggle room
I
number
think
then?
I think,
Well, yeah, I
why not
could,
take a middle
Yeah.
between,
Mine and his.
yeah.
the problem is, if you say, okay, $75,000, then they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna do this mural on the wall, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, that's not worth $75,000, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, in the
But I
end-
mean, yeah, but I mean, we don't have to accept that,
Exactly.
accept that proposal.
Mhm.
But, I think if we go up a little bit, there's a little more room for, somebody to think a little big. Think
Yeah.
a little larger.
Yeah.
So what's your
That
number?
was my idea.
Well,
35?
yeah, 35.
Yeah.
Two numbers, you were 70 and then
Yeah.
somebody was 20?
Yeah.
20, yeah.
And then 35, what's your number? Come on, Jen.
Well, I pick a number in between and, you know, we want someone with a little experience and they're gonna present their ideas. It's not like they're gonna head out there with a can of paint and start painting. I mean, they're gonna present the presentations we got last time for all of these were so polished. So,
Yeah, and that takes time, I mean,
Yeah.
someone's
takes
putting
immense time.
so much time into it, you know, I mean, even if it's our quick one.
Okay,
I
well, that's a
don't know.
great description, but what's the value you think that should be put to that is the question.
I
Say a
said
number.
do in between.
But you gotta say a number.
Okay, what were the two numbers?
Well, in the, between is
35.
55.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what I'm
55.
saying, that's what I'm saying.
Vanessa, do you have a number?
I wanna stay on the lower end, so I'm gonna say 40.
Ooh, okay.
Just put 50.
So say 50, go with 50.
Go with 50.
49.99.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, $50,000 for both the both stairwells. Stairs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or not exceeding.
not to exceed, yes, not to exceed.
Yeah.
With the obvious intention of something that is a little more interesting or a little more surprising than just a mural. Not that just a mural is a bad thing, Should have said it.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
no, and I don't mean that either, I'm not gonna be like pissed.
Yeah. no.
I think we're all saying that the mural is an obvious choice, let's go beyond.
Yes,
Yeah.
Let's look
it's
for
very
opportunities.
talked about and,
I
yeah.
just wanna say, there is a desire pointed out in the master
Yeah.
plan for more murals in Merriam,
yeah.
so that's something.
Right, a mural plus, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Two, the stair projects in San Francisco are incredible.
They are.
And it wouldn't hurt to just even look at those, you know, before we
Sorry about it.
Uh-huh.
talk to people. I mean, they're wonderful, wonderful
Okay.
stairs. I know a lot of them.
Alright,
It's like an ongoing series or something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's like trendy.
Ooh, I'll look
Ooh,
into it.
ooh.
Alright, so
So what's
I have someplace to be too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there,
Losing y'all.
and I didn't know if there was a hard stop at 6:30, so.
No, but we're dwindling numbers.
Yeah.
Yes,
we are.
the
I have
last
nowhere
item
to
on
be.
the last
I would
item on-
love to go home at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Last
the
item-
parts across of Merriam, is that part of it?
The last items on the
Yeah,
agenda
right,
are.
75 glass.
This, oh, sorry, I never gave you the printed version. This, and then just a few very short city updates.
Arts across, Marion.
Okay,
Mhm.
Hearts Across Merriam. So, this came up because, you know, staff is excited about the master plan and always has lots of ideas of different things that we could do. However, the way that we budget, it's insanely far in the future. And this is a little time specific, so, when Karen was telling me about this idea, I was like, that actually makes, I think that's very fitting for the master plan and something the public art committee could consider giving me funding to do. It's not in her budget. So, and then talking with our other staff members and actually with you about how we could possibly move some projects along, similar to how council does stuff.
Yep.
With action forms and other committees, they're basically reviewing plans in advance and saying yes or no. So I put together this little template here for a proposal. Karen's idea is for Dirk, our local glassblower, to create 75 hearts, and they will be hidden all around Merriam in public places throughout next year to celebrate our 75th birthday. They'd have something stamped into the glass, like, I don't know if it's the Merriam logo or something that makes them identifiable with what they are, why you're finding them somewhere. But it's just kind of a fun, different way for somebody to.
It's a scavenger hunt.
I think it
Of hearts.
meets a number of needs in terms of local artists.
Yeah.
Clearly local.
Yeah.
Et cetera. I think it is a great idea. I think to move forward on it, we'll have to bring it up in the next, to make a vote on it, we have to do it at the next meeting.
Okay, well,
1, 2,
If required.
I'm not
3,
good.
4, 5.
No, good.
Oh,
technically, I think there's enough people, but.
Oh, you're right.
If you'd rather.
So-
How many are there?
I thought,
We have a remote.
You're right. Still have the fifth. No,
Yeah.
she didn't count. We only get the 5.
But
May
It's
I,
1, 2, 3,
may I
4,
ask a
5.
question before?
Sure.
I go? Has there been talk, it might be too early, but, of somehow marketing this? And the only reason I ask
Yes.
is
Yeah.
75 seems like a small number if there are people out there that are gonna wanna try to get them all.
ooh.
You
Okay.
have a valid point.
Uh-huh.
And then resell them? Yeah, right.
Since this came up, I'm gonna go ahead, jump ahead a tiny bit. I'm not gonna be here for the October meeting, but Karen Crane,
Uh-huh.
who is proposing this, will be.
So we could talk to her.
So if you'd
about
rather
it.
wait and talk about this
Yeah,
then,
that sounds smart.
that's an option.
Yeah, that sounds great.
When we
I-
went to the studio, Jerry had an idea about the way we could hang them.
Yeah, well, that's something.
Oh, did he talk to you guys about it?
Yeah.
No, we went to see what was going on, yeah. Well, I was just thinking it might be nice to, but that's down the line, to have a hole in them or something like that, so people can
So
actually.
you could
Because they're
hang
not
them,
gonna be that.
because they're just like,
They're not gonna be that big,
I
otherwise they're
held
just a
one, and
paperweight.
it's
Otherwise, they're just a paperweight.
just like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't wanna put them on the floor, and just put them on the grass all over Merriam, and they're beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
What
a great
about-
discussion for next meeting with Karen here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, so Derek's like my neighbor kind of. So he has an open studio
Uh-huh.
every year, sometimes twice a year, but it's almost always in October. And so you might wanna like keep an eye out. It might, I don't know if it's gonna be before we talk about it, or it might be right around the same time, but, he allows people to come to his workshop, which is like right by his house.
Right.
And shows you all the stuff he, like glass he's blown and whatnot. And then you can also go up to his home, which is
Yeah.
his glass blowing studio, and he does like live demonstrations.
Yeah,
And so it would be really cool for everyone to like,
yeah, I think
that-
that'd be good.
and it's usually in October when he does it.
That's what we did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, they didn't stop when we arrived.
He does like open houses, I guess, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
And it's
But
in
he's
October.
Very
He's very
interesting.
welcoming, we get,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That could be a
What
cool
about
concept.
doing like the Merriam logo, is that a thing? Cause that would make more sense for Merriam.
I think maybe stamped in there, it's very pointy.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what Dirk was saying, that
Yeah,
he's
He
gonna
needed
Boston in
something.
some way with
yeah.
something that makes it very.
I know he was
cool.
planning on using a mold to make the hearts.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's gonna
That's what
use
we done.
he found a mold on the, I don't know, some cooking website that it's the right size for him.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, you all are gonna lose me unless we.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
I think we need to focus
Thanks,
again.
I think that was the.
We're not voting.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
we're not voting,
Vote
yeah,
next time,
yeah.
okay. But yes, lots of promotion for this.
Awesome.
Yes, Karen wants to put it in her visitor's guide, which will go to
Sure.
print before the end of this year, so that's
Yeah, perfect.
the first timeline that, we need to know for sure.
Okay.
Sorry, next thing, yes, so I won't be here in October, but Karen will be. Caitlin, our assistant city administrator, will also be here, to talk to you guys about birthday projects. Last time we briefly talked about a possible poster project, and then I learned that Johnson County Parks and Rec just did that, and so there is.
This budget that they.
Yeah, so the Haley Chafin just did a poster for Antioch Park, so it's available for purchase, it's very cool. The county has a ton of really cool posters now, I had no idea, now I know. Parade of Hearts, the parade has ended, there was an auction, and we decided to try to buy the strawberry heart that was at the marketplace, and we were successful at our auction, so the strawberry will be coming back to the marketplace.
Okay, good.
And then city updates, we have an open vacancy on, in Ward 4 for city council, so. Several of you were in Ward 4.
Okay, this Ward, where's Ward, are we Ward 4?
Yeah.
Who's leaving?
Neil.
Who's leaving?
David Neal resigned.
David, yeah. Hey,
So, applications are due for that on October 9th. If you're interested, or if you have neighbors,
Okay.
that's what I got.
Jerry.
I don't know what Overcast means.
It's like an audible,
I think-
listening.
alright,
Okay,
bye.
bye.
Thank
Bye,
you all.
bye, bye,
It's
bye.
like a tour guide
Here, I can
talking
show
to
you.
you,
Oh,
a recording.
okay, and who's gonna do that?
You do it to your phone.
Didn't Lauren do it?
This
Weren't
is
you involved?
Overcast. Yes, we're currently,
Were you the narrator?
no, my ex-husband is actually the narrator in some of these. So we currently have this history tour in Overcast,
Oh.
that has,
When you get
sorry,
the
I have terrible
location,
service
you would
in here,
activate it,
and I haven't
then
turned
you
on my
It's
Wi-Fi.
it's an app that you get?
It's like
Yes.
having a docent right there with you,
It
telling
is.
you all about it.
No,
Jerry,
not
you
as
can
good-
do
not
it.
as good as a
Change
live
the
one.
word,
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extra bonus points.
So.
Great.
Where are you going to be? When you miss it?
San Antonio.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yup.
For
Had to
fun?
think about that. Yeah.
Why not?
Yep.
Hmm.
So, there you go. Yes, this is Overcast.
Okay, I'll look into
But
it.
you like listen to it, right?
Yeah, there's like,
Yeah.
On July 26th of 1944, a bomber plane took off.
Oh, the bomber.
yeah, sorry. I clicked the most depressing one, sorry.
That was awful.
Yeah,
Okay,
anyways,
so,
we will have
Any
that.
further
I will also be gone next.
Okay,
Heads up.
good to know. That's what I got.
San Antonio?
Do I have
What?
a?
Seattle,
any
good
other
for
business?
you.
No, do I have an adjournment?
let's
Yes,
adjourn, please.
I make a motion to do that.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you all.
Okay.
Have a good time to see you.
Thank you, Austin.
Fun?
No,
I'll talk
yeah,
to you
just
later,
for
okay?
fun.
Oh, good,
Okay.
good, just go.
All right, okay.
October, oh, I'm out here, October
10.
October 10th is the
Okay.
meeting.
Are you in the garage?
October
I'm on
10th
the
will be
top
meeting?
floor, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
look at
that might be
those
bad.
stairs
I might be gone.
Yeah.
carefully.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, October's a big time for people to be gone. We may be in a situation where we don't have a meeting in October. I'll have to discuss that,
Okay.
based on a lot of people's schedules.
Yeah, there's a good chance I might.
You wanna go check it
Which
out?
would mean November would be that much more important in
Let's go.
terms of parents
I'm not in a
scheduling.
super hurry,
Yeah.
but I'm
That to
in a
go
kind of
on.
hurry.
Yes, she'll need to know.
Well, I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
Thank you,
We'll
Lauren.
take it consensus.
Thank you, Sean.
Have a good time in San
you.
Antonio.
Thanks.
I spent a lot of
The,
time
the
Okay.
Shawnee Mission,
there. Huh?
the Shawnee Mission Parkway plan thing seems to have come out of nowhere. Like, it was promoted, it was at the council agenda yesterday,
What are you showing, did you get stairs or?
Okay.
Monday this week.
Uh-huh.
But like, I hadn't heard of that much recently. Redoing that
I
intersection.
haven't either, honestly, so.
Why did it come up now? Like, why now? I was left thinking at the meeting. Usually they would talk about that sort of thing a couple of meetings in a row.
I don't know, I
bring
can't
up
answer that.
With, the community development.
Hey Lauren, thank you so much.
All right, that was the art committee meeting.